Hey guys, it is Wednesday, looking like a nice day out. It's even getting a little bit warm. Starting off doing some Uber, going to Healthy Planet. Yeah, it's quite a store in here. This person wanted a bunch of vitamins and things that look similar, which after looking confused for a while, one of the employees basically found everything that I was looking for in that shop and pay. So that was nice. They seem pretty chill. I imagine that happens a lot. People come in looking clueless, doing an Uber delivery. And dropped that off north of Casa Loma. Now I'm in a Loblaws picking up a few things. This turned into a double shop and pay. And the second one was back downtown, so that's nice for me, as I wanted to head downtown anyways. Drop that off, just north of the construction, near Queen's Park. There's a big OSAP rally happening today, so I wanted to come by and check that out. Bit of a lull for Uber as well, so yeah, if you haven't been keeping track, Ontario government is changing it so you could get 85% of your student loan as a grant. And now they're changing it to be 25% could be a grant, and the rest is expected to be paid back. Of course, current students don't like these changes, and Doug Ford has shared these words for them.
I mentioned to the students, you have to invest in your future, into in-demand jobs, because a lot of the students, I'm not one to say, like you're picking basket weaving courses, and there's not too many baskets being sold out there. Go into healthcare, go into trades, go into jobs of the future.
It's funny to me that he brings up healthcare right away, but during his whole term, he's been cutting healthcare. Like back in 2020, big protests, rural hospitals, and go through unexpected shutdowns. Even this year, there's a big rally. They're saying that they're going to cut 10% of the budget for healthcare over the next 3 years. So it's like, I don't know, even if you do want to become a doctor, it takes a long time. Like, I don't know. Even looking at this, I'm like, it takes 10 to 15 years? So it feels like the government is just pushing students to take a huge risk. Like, he calls it an investment, but it's basically gambling. Like, you're gonna pay money for this education, and to be honest, you might not be cut out to be a doctor or whatever you're enrolled in. But I want to live in a world where anyone who thinks that they are cut out for it can take that path and become a great doctor. So removing these financial barriers is very important. And anyone who thinks that they would be a great basket weaver, they should be able to pursue that. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to weave a basket, but it's hard. I would definitely need someone to tell me how to weave a basket. Most of these artistic courses just don't cost as much as pursuing healthcare. So even though you might not become a great director, maybe you're still going to work in film and commercials and local TV. I want to hear great music from great musicians and go see stage shows and plays. Why not? I also want to believe that maybe the best meal I've ever had hasn't been cooked yet. Maybe it's yet to be invented. It could come from anywhere. Who knows? Jewelry, I don't really care for jewelry, but, let the jewelry sickos learn how to make jewelry. Yeah. So, I'm with the kids. Yeah. Hopefully things work out. Anyways, I'm back on that Uber grind, picking up from Rexall a bunch of allergy medicine. A little bit early for allergy stuff, but this guy sounded congested as fuck when he said thanks down the hall to me. And yeah, again, another lull. Kind of just went over to Chinatown, picked up from Yang's Braised Chicken, bringing that up past Queen's Park again. Drop that off. And kind of just another lull, hanging out next to the construction zone here. I was thinking maybe since there's probably less cars, maybe there'd be more work around there, but I got bored after 10 minutes. Then pick up from this Starbucks. It was a cheap one, $4, but it was just to the building right above the Starbucks. So I didn't even get back on the bike after I picked it up. Hatendo Cafe. Yeah, going by the above ground art supply store. I wonder if they're ever gonna close. Like, everybody likes it there, but who knows? And picked up some canvas at Michael's. Barely fit in my bag, but I got it. And as I'm doing this delivery, a bunch of police cars going to Queen's Park. At least 4 cars have passed me as I'm riding north here. Police cars, that is. And yeah, I guess something's going on. There's like 8 police cars on the east side of the building, even more on the west side. And again, as I'm leaving the area, like 3 police cars go by me. That's a little bit nuts. Anyways, dropped off that canvas. I had a mini heart attack because there was also a little tube of paint that I thought fell out of this little hole in my bag. That luckily I put it in the side pocket, so I didn't actually lose it. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, $56 for the day, 3.5-ish hours. I did some quick math. It's a little bit under minimum wage today, so we'll see how that gets amended. It's supposed to be raised to minimum in Ontario now. That's one good thing I guess Doug Ford was involved in. But yeah, going back over to the protest to see what all the hubbub is with the police cars. Seems like somebody sprayed fuck Doug Ford on the statue. There's a lot of graffiti on there. And yeah, just hearing people talk about what's going on. Apparently they arrested the guy that spray painted the statue. And yeah, I've been looking online for some footage from the crowd. Kind of hard to find. But yeah, there's the guy. People are being like, don't touch him and stuff. Which I get it, you know, he spray painted the thing, but it's also like, how much does it cost to clean up some graffiti? Like, in hindsight, it kind of seems like there's some pushing and shoving going on here by protesters. Definitely police doing a lot of pushing and shoving, as is their police way. But there wasn't that many police at the protest initially, I think. You can see they're literally carrying the guy away. There's another angle. Slightly better thing. Quality. People kind of... I don't know if they're trying to get him to go free or what. Like, I wouldn't be messing with the police to be like, don't arrest that guy. But maybe they're friends, who knows. So yeah, maybe I'll try to link Underground Nation if you want to hear the audio for this, but there's a lot of move back shouting and people just be like, don't touch him, my freedoms, I don't know. Seems like they made a mini line here. After a couple minutes go by, they start pushing into the crowd, and there's some other police like in the middle of the crowd that are maybe trying to get to the line. It's kind of hard to tell what's really going on, but the Underground Nation video, it is actually pretty good in that it's uncut. So I guess I will link their video. But yeah, you can see that alternate angle was still filming and more guys rushing in. Yeah. So from the footage, it kind of looks like they get a little bit surrounded and maybe they're feeling afraid because of how many people there are and they're not really in a formation. In one of the news videos, the news guys is saying that the police were trying to stop people from entering the Ontario Legislative Building in the back here. I don't think anyone was really trying to do that because, like, what's the point? I don't think Doug Ford's in there. I don't think anyone's thinking that. Mostly they just didn't have a good line formation. Whereas I imagine they'd like to have their backs not to other random protesters like in the clips. But yeah, by the time I'm here, it's just them standing in a big line. Which I brought up, how much does it cost to clean up graffiti? Probably a lot less than to pay like 50 police officers to stand in a line doing nothing. As I'm standing around, I'm like, seems like a good time to rob a bank. Not that I'd ever rob a bank, but when all the police are forced to stand in a line doing nothing, it's like, come on, guys. After hearing countless 911 stories of, oh, the police have an urgent matter to deal with, you see this kind of shit. And yeah, here's another clip of this green-haired lady getting pushed for, I don't know. I guess I talked over her story. Sorry, she's basically like a child support education lady, and she was like trying to ask what's going on, and they just pushed her around. That's the long and short of it. But yeah, random guy drinking his coffee while looking at the protests. I wonder what his deal is. But yeah, things apparently getting a little bit wild down here. I missed all of it, but tried to catch you up. This guy, he was saying they were using police batons to beat the guy up that they arrested. Which maybe, I don't know. Anyways, I'm heading home. Here's a bunch of people in the really big bike lane. I know it doesn't look like a bike lane, but this is a bike lane. And the lines are faded. Just as Doug Ford probably wanted. So yeah, surprised to see a police car out here. I was like, aren't you guys all supposed to be at Queen's Park right now? Maybe he's heading over. Yeah. Anyways, looking at the melting water coming off the neighbor's roof. Their drain pipe's a little messed up there. Heading over to Freshco, gonna get some food. I was like, yeah, chicken wings. It's been a while. I've been eating a lot of burgers. Not quite sick of burgers, but should take a break. And eat those chicken wings. Forgot to film it. Sorry. This video is already long enough. But as I'm leaving, it's after 6 p.m. I read online that it's not going to be sunset until after 6 p.m. for a while now. So that's just nice. Get to enjoy some longer days. I do enjoy a long day. And yeah. Going over to Church Street, meeting up with Don, Alex, and Mark. We're gonna go watch Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie again. We got my brother Matt here as well. So that's pretty fun. Yeah. It was Alex's idea to go see it again. Which, I mean, it's just a good movie, so why not go see it again? He even bought me a Diet Pepsi. They didn't have Coke at the theater. But again, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, pretty great movie. You should check it out if you can. I found there's a fan website, Nirvana the show, Nirvana the band, the show, the website. If you want to watch the original web series, it's all free online. That's an easy way to find it, because it's kind of hard to find otherwise. But anyways, movie's great. Go check it out. It actually might be out of theaters now, so it's probably hard to check out actually. But yeah, like last time, it's just fun to watch a thing that's very Toronto in the movies. And it feels like a small crew thing. It's like, yeah, it's nice when you see something from a small crew that's like good. It doesn't have to all be Hollywood spending their hundreds of millions of dollars to make a movie. Just two guys with like $2 million grant or something from Ontario Creates. But yeah. The crew wanted some bubble tea, and we just kind of moseyed around College Park here, looking at some art that they've set up. That's nice. Some weird swings. You're allowed to swing on it. And yeah, they didn't feel great to swing on these things. The chains were very crinkly. I guess there's a reason they don't make swings to look like that. We walked up Young Street, just chatting about whatever, the movie, as it was coming across our mind. And I'm biking home. It's kind of a long episode. Oh yeah, brown truck. I always like seeing brown truck. I guess they leave their spot around 10 p.m. But yeah, thanks for watching. This chair. If you're still watching, I picked up some wood from this chair. I've been thinking about making a frame backpack, and I could cut up this wood and make a good frame, maybe. Who knows if I'm actually going to do it, but the wood was there and it was free, so I was like, fuck it. I might make something out of that. I did throw out this Instant Pot. Just put it on the street. A replacement inner pot would be like $10, and then if I was going to resell it, it would be maybe $20. I don't know. It's not worth dealing with.